I'm gonna pack this video full of actionable tips and advice and insights so that you can grow your art YouTube channel. I'm producing this trilogy on how to grow your art YouTube channel, so please make sure that you watch this whole video all the way through so that you can learn the mistakes that I made so that you don't, and you can grow a successful art YouTube channel just like this. The first piece of advice I have for you is a really hard pill to swallow, but I promise if you do it, it's gonna change your art YouTube life. So here we go, get ready for this. Nobody cares about your art. Now hold on, don't click away just yet. Please hear me out on this one, because this piece of advice really changed my life. Unless you have a massive social media following, people aren't familiar with you, they don't know you, and therefore they're not gonna sit around and watch your speed paints and your simple tutorials on how you make what you make. You have to figure out how to make engaging content surrounding your art, your processes, your advice, your mindsets, whatever it's gonna be. You see, when I first started out, I was pushing out only content that I liked and that I wanted to make. And then once I realized how to produce content for a broader audience, I started to get a much wider audience coming in to watch my stuff and returning to watch my stuff on a consistent basis. Now, do you want to know how to do this? Because here's how you do it. Are you unsure how to structure and deliver the content that you want to make? Myself personally, I started out doing all tutorials, and then I pivoted after a little while. And since then, I've started to gain a lot of momentum and experience some success. So here are the 3 art YouTube formats that are really successful in general. First off is going to be entertainment style concepts. So this is when everything is really fun, it's lighthearted, it's fast paced, you're quickly going through different things. This would be like ZHC and Jazza, just to name a few. The second one is going to be educational style content. So this is when you're going to learn actionable advice, you're going to seek improvement, and you're going to get something when you walk away from each video that's going to help you do something better. This would be like FZD, Trent Kanuga, Mark Brunet, or Art Business with Ness, and of course myself. And the third style format that's working really well is also either infotainment or edutainment. Now this is kind of like the love child between the previous 2 here, where you're going to be presented with information in a really fun and a faster pace, but you're also going to be actually learning something quick and easy. Some examples of art channels that are really killing at this would be like Raw Straws, The Draftsman, or Muhammad Agbadi. But here's something that you might have thought about doing, or you might have already done that's prevented your channel from growing. I want you to commit to this, producing 100 videos. Not all at once, that's crazy, but over time, producing 100 videos before you even think about giving up, because this is a major concern that I see amongst most art YouTube channels, is that they'll give up. And generally speaking here, the magical number in which case an art YouTuber gives up is typically between 10 and 20. And you need to do 100 videos, you need to produce that so that you pick up skills in filming, in lighting, in editing, in your personality, in your content delivery. In my first video here, I made every single mistake that you could have possibly made, including I shot a freaking YouTube video in a vertical format. And I just went ahead and I made every single mistake that I'll inform you about in a later video. But now in my newer content, I'm very comfortable on camera. I get excited, I don't get nervous anymore. And I've gotten a lot better at my editing skills and my storytelling techniques. And this is only something that you can really get, just like in art, friends, you can only really get this from doing it. So commit to doing those 100 videos, because you don't know what your style is gonna be and what people are gonna resonate with until you do it. Now, along with that, here's how you should put out content. When I first started out, I did what every YouTuber does, right? Which is that they'll go ahead and they'll put out a video on a topic, and then they'll make another video, and then I would go ahead and put out another video on whatever I was feeling like that day. This is really ineffective, and it's hard, and it's difficult for YouTube to grasp onto exactly why anybody should care. So one of the things that I found to be incredibly useful is to produce your content in trilogies, meaning that what you should do is instead of producing one video on one topic, then what you should do is you should produce 3 videos on a singular topic. That sounds a little overwhelming at first, but let me just give you some examples. So I've actually started to do this in the last 9 months, and it has been really good for the steady growth of my channel. So for example, here are 3 videos I did on perspective, then I did 3 videos on commissions, and then I did just recently 3 videos on AI art. And now I'm producing this trilogy on how to grow your art YouTube account. When you do this, what it does is it better matches. YouTube can figure out exactly what type of audience is gonna like your content and who's gonna want to come back to that. You see the power in that? Now, before you start your whole channel too, you should definitely avoid this mistake. So when you're starting your YouTube channel, you're probably gonna think what most people do, which is that they put out a video. And this is what I did too. Look, I put out this video, then I put out this video, and then I made this video, and then I went ahead and I made this video. But here's the problem with that, is that YouTube values session times. So if you're just starting your channel, instead of just producing one video, produce 5 videos. So the genius behind this is real simple, because you want a viewer to like your video and then go, wow, look at that. He got another video right there. Oh, look, he's got another video after that. Instead of the generic version of this, which is you put out your first video as soon as you launch your channel and they go, wow, that was great. Well, I guess I'll have to wait till next week. Then they'll forget, or they won't go on YouTube, or they'll start watching TikTok instead. So if you go ahead and you batch produce all of these things, and then you upload them, and then you launch them all at once, you create a binge session. Isn't that awesome? Try that out, because I wish I did. Now, learn how you should be making all those videos before you launch them. You should definitely check out this. As you're starting your YouTube channel, you're probably going to do what most art YouTubers are going to do, which is that they're going to watch other art YouTube channels. What they did to get themselves popular maybe 5 or 10 years ago is not how you're going to do it in this current era, okay? So what you need is sage-like advice from overall YouTube experts, all right? You need your gurus. So here are the YouTube gurus that I recommend that you watch in order to learn everything about YouTube. You should definitely check out Nate from Channel Makers. He's got wonderful tips and advice. Ed from Film Booth is amazing, my friends, and he'll really inspire you as far as how to structure your content in an enjoyable fashion. Sean and his team from Think Media are really powerful proponents of how to make great video content that's very engaging. Rob from vidIQ has been on this scene for a long time. He's one of the biggest names and on one of the biggest channels out there, and they can really teach you a lot about how you can grow an effective YouTube channel. This is where you're going to learn the business of YouTube and the art of storytelling to propel your content, regardless of what type of art content you're going to make, to a really extremely high and successful level. I wish I did this at first, because at first I was only watching art YouTubers and it really didn't help me that much. Now, while you're producing your first batch of content, make sure you're not doing this. My friend, are you crystal clear on what the vision of your channel is? Do you know exactly what type of content you want to make? Well, that's great, but it actually might be killing your channel, and it might be killing your potential opportunities to expand. Because it's great to have a vision, but you need to experiment to figure out what people are going to like. Take me, for example, on here. I'm a great exemplar of this. So I first started out producing a lot of tutorials. And while that was fun and I was using it for my classes and my students enjoyed it, it really wasn't reaching a broader audience. So then I started to produce more art mindset and motivational content, and that picked up a little bit. But then I started to do art commission-based content. And this is where I found a void in YouTube. But there's really not a lot on this. And I'm just gonna say now that I produce more content on art commissions than any other art YouTube channel or just channel in general. So that has been my niche and where I've really situated myself. But I would not have known that if I did not experiment first. I didn't try new things. And now, above all, you definitely need to make sure you don't do this. Just because you love it does not mean that an audience is going to love it. So one of the mistakes that I used to make is that I did not research my topics and my content before I would make the video for it. I would typically do this afterwards. I would do it while I was making a thumbnail, and this just led to me creating dead videos and boring content or overplayed content or content that really huge channels have already done. So my friend, if you're now wanting to know how to create more engaging content, how to increase your watch time so that you can get monetized, then the next video you're going to want to watch is right here.